I got a feeling like Jon was just screwed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he did something for everyone, which is good. But
let's think about it. So Arya, she gets she ends up exactly where we all want her to be, right? Like west of Westeros. Like maybe we get a spinoff. We could get some cool things happening like later on in terms of Arya's character arc and everything. And we don't know what George R.R. is writing,
right?
Like,
but I feel like
I hope he releases a book in the next month. Just a surprise, oh, guess what? The story's not over. Here you go. Because, 45 million people watched last night. This is the time to strike. Because people, it's a divided audience in terms of what they wanted. They wanted Dany to win. They wanted Jon to take the throne. They wanted them to be together. They wanted the Night King to win. Nobody really wanted Cersei.
Right.
But, they wanted Sansa and Tyrion to rule side by side. That would have been cool, too. I was kind of still hoping that they were going to hook up. Yeah.
But, see, the whole Arya thing, even though it's you want her to be free, right? But sailing doesn't seem her thing. There's a bunch of stories with these people who are, prominent sailors in the history of Westeros that tried to go west, east, wherever, somewhere where people haven't been, and none of them have a good end. So why is Arya, with Stark banners, which are not known to do anything sailing-wise, going? But, okay, that's her departure. You got Sansa, who got
Queen of the North.
So she got exactly what she wanted.
Right.
Bronn got the fan pleasing here with the High Garden.
We almost got what I called with Sam. With
your story came, but it's Maester Ebros wrote it.
Like,
and
it's why wouldn't they just have Sam write it? That would have been so cool.
Helped him with the title.
I gave him the title.
Oh, stop it, Sam. No, but okay, so that was whatever. But the cool thing I thought was when Brienne was writing inside of the book
for Jaime,
and I was waiting for that scene to come because there were, especially in the books, they kind of alluded to it in the show too. There's been all this Jaime's done nothing with his life and he's never done a good deed, right? So after everything, you would expect him to get some redemption, right? And she filled it in for him, and I think the thing is, there was a scene before when Jaime came back from being rescued by Brienne, I guess. He filled it in, and he said that he was rescued by Brienne of Tarth in the book. But I didn't see those lines in there.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? Because when he becomes the main man in the Kingsguard, right? He fills in the book, and he says Jaime Lannister captured by the young wolf at Whispering Wood, escape, blah blah blah, was rescued by Brienne of Tarth and returned back home. See, I remember him writing something like that, right? But I didn't see those lines there. But she filled everything, what he did. He led someone. He came back and she gave him a nice wrapped it all up nicely that he was defending the queen. I thought that was a good touch and a nice conclusion. But
no, it helped with Jaime and Cersei. The Tyrion scene and the Brienne scene helped with their two characters. I thought dying the week before, with the bells episode. The problem is, where do we go from here? Because there's questions that are not being answered. Yeah. We have Jon, for example. Why do we need to know that, Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark had a baby?
Exactly. That major plot twist
turned into
nothingness.
Why do we have 5 minutes of Varys writing these notes? Nobody ever received a note?
Right.
All of those people in the Dragon Pit should have had the note and said, look, Jon is
the rightful king.
Targaryen. All we've done in this whole show is one person kills another king.
Right.
And then they become king.
Right.
Or queen.
And I think
that's what happens. Robert has his rebellion against the Targaryens because of Lyanna. They kill, Jaime kills the Mad King. Robert steps in because it's his rebellion. Robert dies because Cersei wants him dead. Joffrey takes over, but it's really Tywin and
I think the
Cersei.
whole thing is that they're trying to move with the times, much like our current things are happening here. More PC things. Political correctness over here. But Sam had the thing where he was, why doesn't everybody get a vote? And they laughed it off. And then they just did something that's halfway through, right? Where they voted on a king. That's what we should do from now on, And it's like total BS. I don't know why they wouldn't have been. It's like, Grey Worm, we're going to attack everybody. This is the man who stood up for us when we needed him the most. He took care of what is the biggest threat to Westeros, Dany. He did what is right. He is the king in the north. He's this and that. I don't understand why these people didn't stand up for him. Now, I understand Yara bent the knee to her. That's the only, good reason. Who else was there against her? Or against Jon? I don't know. No. The Martell's useless anyways. I mean, that was a nobody. So, I don't know. It was disappointing in the end, especially with Bran ending up as the thing, and it's leads you to believe that they're going to be living in a more positive time now, where people vote on their kings.
Well, it would have been nice. It would have been nice if you showed it 10 or 15 years,
right?
And all of a sudden you have this perfect society or whatever. You have a society that's
more
working,
democratic, or
you have a society that's working, rather than just fading to black after watching Jon ride off in the sunset.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I could see is that there is plenty of opportunity left over for future endeavors. You've got Arya can come back. You got Sansa. She could be however you want her to be, good or bad. You can have Bran be however you want. King, the realm being.
Jon, you have them all.
You have Jon who can come back if need be, and I feel like the Night's Watch isn't going to be really a Night's Watch. You don't really have a wall. There's a gaping hole in the wall.
Right.
Shouldn't you be a part of the North now or whatever?
Right.
You know what I mean? And you could always take those couple of castles that
we still don't know what happened to all those babies that the Night's King took. From Castor.
I think they've set it up, left it open for potential comeback.
It's definitely open ended, but. And then I did read something this morning that, when they say that Drogon was flying east, we saw him flying east, and they maybe to, Valeria, maybe he still had Dany, maybe he's looking for a Red Priest, to bring her back.
I would
it's
not be surprised about that.
Out of the realm of possibility. We've seen,
crazier things happen.
We've seen people come back from the dead, so it is possible.
Yeah.
And that would be interesting as a continuation point. Because we're probably talking maybe 2 or 3 months have passed. That's not that long in the terms of Game of Thrones.
No.
So if they wanted to continue it, and maybe George R.R. does write something at the end, some kind of epilogue or something that will do it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It'll be interesting where the new show goes, because I wouldn't be surprised if the other one's, let's say, a 3 to 5 year show, that they hit back on this one, or the one after, because they're going to keep the series going.
They're going to try.
Yeah, we'll see how the second one is. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
because I feel like if the second one sucks, they'll come back. They might come back to the original cast. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Because like you said, Dany could come back. And you could make anything else the way you want it.
Right. It'll be very interesting. All right. I've decided something as, the ruler of Blackjack movies. I've decided that this is not our last episode, that we will do another episode very soon to give you more insight of what we have been talking about, where we think that the show might go, or at least the characters might go. We might not, the show is dead as of right now. It's over. But we might give you some insight, and especially when the books come out, we're going to be reading the books. I
can't wait for the books.
We'll be picking those things up.
I hope you were right with your prediction that Barristan Selmy says the books are done, and they'll be waiting to publish them as soon as we're
as soon as
with this. And we are through.
The show was over, so they were just waiting for that. That George R.R. made a thing agreement with the producers and HBO and said, I won't release anymore. He's got them written. They're all good. And that's everything. So that's it, man. That is the Kings of Westeros for Season 8. It's been quite the ride. 6 episodes down, but there's more to come. The Kings of Westeros are not dead. That wheel is not broken. Me and Danko, we're coming back at you. It's Blackjack Movies. We're out.